Present now your entire screen. Okay, we'll start our discussion today. Very good afternoon to one and all. Okay, so we are in the process of understanding two main algorithms, gradient descent rule. Okay, applied under the kind of a configuration perceptron learning. So if you look at perceptron learning in the last class, Professor Mitish Kapra's slides we referred to, and we try to understand this working principle of this algorithm. Krishna, whether you attended the last class, Krishna?
Yes, sir.
I recall something.
Yeah. So exactly now, sir, but now is sir. So basically,
convey your idea. Yeah.
So we like took data of different data of about a film, sir, like checking
Very
whether
good,
the film is directed by acted by
Christopher
Matt
Nolan,
Damon. Christopher
yeah,
Nolan direction. அதுக்கப்புறம் whether it's a thriller, IMDb rating.
Yeah.
அதுக்கப்புறம் அந்த data first we like took weight எப்படி change பண்ணனும்னு பார்த்தோம் சார்.
Okay, that's what W plus X and W minus X is what we where we stop.
W minus X. So weight nu equal to weight old plus eta of dou E by dou T நினைக்கிறேன் சார்.
That's right. That is all right. That in fact we derived initially first session. In fact we derived that. Okay, so what we derived is more like this. So understand the problem again. So there is a pattern P1. For this pattern, we got all these features. The features are all movie, thriller or not, IMDb rating, all those things. Based on those features, we need to tell whether a particular person likes that movie or not. Okay, so this is a kind of recommendation type of thing. Okay, Netflix and all, they employ this kind of technique. So 1 or 0. 1 means he likes that movie. 0 means he is not liking that movie. Based on these features. So you got so many patterns like this, P1, P2, P3, it goes on up to Pn. Okay, so many patterns, and we are training a neural network. So this is what we have been discussing. So in that case, so the key idea is we have to collect the labeled data, and then train a network, and we train a neural network. So the problem is we need to pick some cost function. Okay, that is the error function. In fact, for particular set of weights and biases, you get some error. So normally we will be randomly choosing some initial weights, and biases, and we will start our iteration. The algorithm will start. Okay, so for the initial random weights and the biases, we will be predicting something. Okay, we will be predicting. In this case, it's more kind of a classification type, either 0 or 1. So either 0 or 1. So if you wrongly misclassify for your initial set of weights and bias, then you need to update your weights and biases. So how we are going to do is the problem statement. In fact, we are trying to address. Okay. So initially we also discussed about the cost function in terms of a quadratic cost function like this. E is equal to 1 by 2. Okay, remember sigma summation P equal to 1 to n. You accumulate all the errors for your desired value. This is desired value, and this is desired value. This is your neural network. Okay, you square it. Okay, when you do this, what happens? You need to work out the YP factor. YP can be written as some linear combination of weight WAXI is what we learned. So for that particular specific case of time series forecasting, we worked out something like this. So 1 by 2 sigma p equal to 1 Tn ypd minus sigma y wi xi the whole square. So in fact, we need to minimize this error. So we want yp should be exactly matching this. Okay, so finally we ended up in an expression. What is that expression? Dou E by dou Wi is equal to dou E by dou E by dou Yp, then dou Yp by dou Wi. This is the expression you ended up in. So if you square it, there is a square term here. So if you find out the derivative of this Yp, so with respect to Yp, in fact, you'll be getting 1 by 2 dot 2 sigma p equal to 1 Tn yp minus ypd. Okay, so this is what you'll be getting. Minus this, because of this minus, you get 1 minus 2. Okay, so then this dyp by dwi, you got xi. Okay, you are working out with respect to one specific wi. Therefore, if you open this one, w1 x1, w2 x2, all those are there. But when you are finding out the derivative with respect to one specific wi, you are going to get xi. Okay, so in that case, this is what the expression is. So you got minus ypd minus yp into xi kind of expression. It's more like error into xi. So that's the kind of updation, in fact, we are looking forward. Okay, so that's the kind of expression we are looking for. So now this error for our Boolean case problem, classification problem, right now we are discussing. What is that? The new rule, new weight is equal to old weight. Because of this negative factor, you're going to have some learning factor error into xi. That's the kind of a thing you got now. This is a learning rate, I said, it's a constant. Learning rate is a constant. Okay, this error is what we are interested in for Boolean case like this, 0 or 1. Yp can be 0 and the ypd can be 0, but you can misclassify and it can say yp is 1. So you get minus 1. So what is this case then? W is equal to W old minus X. Okay, with the learning rate is equal to 1, if I'm going to keep, error is equal to minus 1, therefore this can be W old minus X. And the same way, if the original output is 1 and your neural network is telling you misclassification again, it's going to be W old plus X. So can you see it? How up in new weight is equal to W minus X and W plus X. Okay. So these two are in fact coming from the gradient descent rule idea. A gradient descent rule, specifically for a Boolean problem, it looks like this: W old minus X, W old plus X. And if the learning rate is equal to 1, when I'm going to keep, it boils down to this. Okay. What you are understanding? Varsha, Kailash. Yeah, Kailash, can you tell this again? What I said right now? Are you getting the point? Varsha, Kailash, are you there? Okay, I'll call somebody else. Abhijit? Arun Balaji? What about Surya Prakash? Akash? Anybody is there? Bhaskar? You guys are all okay. Fine. So I will repeat again this one. For a Boolean case, W is equal to W old, like this you are getting now. This learning rate, I am keeping it equal to 1, and this E is equal to this Boolean case misclassification errors. Okay. This YPD can be 0, but neural network may tell it is 1. Then it is misclassification. So you get a minus 1 error there. So that's why it is minus 1 of X. Okay. This is if the YPD is 1, that is the desired value is 1, and the neural network is showing 0. Then you ended up in W old plus X. So that's this perceptron learning mode. It stems from gradient descent idea. Okay, gradient descent idea. So we will move ahead. Maybe I'll show you some kind of what do you call? Yeah. Look at this is what is happening, gradient descent. So this is j theta. Theta here is what? Error. The cost function is error. Error is a function of weights. So this is weight. So gradually it will move like this. The gradient will be descending like this. Okay. So you reach every point, you compute the slope, dou e by dou wi. Here it is dou j by dou w, dou theta. Sorry. Here it is dou j by dou theta. Dou e by dou w is what we are computing. Okay. So gradually it will come down like this. Okay. It will come down like this. This point. This is error. This is weight. Okay. So we'll come and reach the minimum point like this. This is the minimum point. Okay. So look at this. Nice also. It's a GitHub of Shatra gradient descent demonstration is. Yeah, here it is. You can see gradually it's coming down. For one-dimensional case, only one weight, f of x. This is w, this is e of x, d of e of w. Okay. Gradually reaching. When you have two weights, how it looks? You're going to have two weights. Yeah, here it is. The minimum point it's trying to reach. Okay, so these are two weights. These are all the errors. So initial weight, gradually you can. This is the initial weight, you can come down. Global minima. You see, this is a kind of regression problem, line fitting problem, curve fitting problem. Okay, so initially there is a huge error, then error gradually comes down. The quadratic cost function again. Okay, so this line is trying to fit. When you are fitting the line, you get the minimum error. So all so basically what we are doing is we are trying to find out the weights and biases. That's the idea. So now see here, the weights are like this. So you can see by adjusting the weights, I can rotate the line. So in the last class, we learned that the weights are perpendicular to this line. Okay, perpendicular to the classification line. Okay, so these weights are perpendicular. Bias can vary like this. Okay, when you vary the bias, you can do that. So we have an input, there is a weight, there is a bias. Okay, this bias passes through a function. This function you will see. There are a lot of possible functions in this demonstration. You can see like Hodling, Purlin, Satlin, log sigmoidal, tan sigmoidal, so many functions are there. We will learn gradually all those functions. Okay. Right now our focus is on perceptron learning rule. Again, we are going back to Nitish Kapra's lecture. Okay. So we try to understand his idea very clearly. Yeah, here we are. So we started off with the basic perceptron model. Bias is when you give x not equal to 1, and the bias can also be included as a weight. That's what we learned. And then we are seeing the corresponding expression. Okay, perceptron what do you call computational nodes expression. This is your computational nodes expression. Y will be equal to 1 if all these values are greater than or equal to 0, including bias. Okay. So Mikulov-Spitz model, there is a difference. We learned that, and then we've seen one example. I hope you can recall this example. These are all the conditions we need to satisfy in order to meet out this requirement. Okay. For pattern 1, we want for both the inputs 0, 0, I want 0. So for that, we need to have this entire summation should be less than 0. A linear combination of weights with inputs plus bias should be less than 0. So for that, we have for second pattern we have another condition, third pattern we have another condition. We have 4 patterns, we have 4 conditions, and we have seen that it is feasible. Okay, all the 4 conditions, inequalities can be met out, and then thereby we can draw a line, we can find out a line like this. And we also seen for some random weights. We have seen the error is accumulating. Okay, we can initially for -1, we got error of 3, 1.50, we got error of 1. So we have seen in an error surface. Okay, that's what we wanted to see. And in the error surface, we wanted to come down. So basically, all these neural networks again and again, it's more like an error minimization. We would like to minimize the error between what the neural network output and the desired output. So these are all labeled data. So naturally, it is supervisory mode of training. Once you give the labeled data, neural network will try to compare. Okay, whether I am learning or not, it will every instant it will supervise. Okay, it will supervise through the error factor. In fact, there is a connection between control theory here. It's more like a feedback. Okay, can you see it clearly? In the control theory, we start reference, you give a reference signal, and then the system will try to reach the reference value. So every instant you will measure the output and you compare and you get the error. Based on the error, you will try to correct the system. The same manner, here also we are measuring the difference between YPD and YP, and we try to find out the error, and that error is adjusted by manipulating the weights. Okay, the weights are the controlling parameters here. So when you manipulate the weight, system is getting control. So this is an example Krishna told. Okay, the last class we have seen. Okay, Nitish Kapra's famous, his what do you call? He likes this example so much. He spent a lot of time in this example. Okay, so this actor diamond, this generic thriller, all those things you plot it and you got the data, fine. Then what else you did? You returned the algorithm. So that's what we see. W is equal to W plus X. W is equal to W minus X. From the gradient descent, we can directly see the relation for the Boolean case. Okay, initially we fix the weights randomly, and then we proceed. So when W naught Xi is less than 0, then for this labeled data, we want W naught Xi should be greater than 0. But we got Xi less than 0, so we are updating the weights. Okay, W plus Wx. Second case, we are using W minus X. In fact, when this label is equal to 0, but we have got output 1, so we don't want 1, so we are updating. Okay, so basically from this error formula is what we are getting. So here is a key idea. In fact, we said in the last class that W transpose X is equal to 0 is a line. Every point X on this line satisfies the equation W transpose X is equal to 0. That's what this linear combination tells. Okay, this linear combination. We are interested in finding the line W transpose X equal to 0 and divides the input space into two halves. Every point X on this line satisfies the equation W transpose X equal to 0. Okay. So that's what we learned in the last class. So what is this? In fact, the key idea here. What can you tell about the angle alpha between W and any point X which lies on the line? Can you see it? That one idea? So we fix your classifier, and we have one thing here. These are all the data. We have drawn a line. So this line, we are saying that it satisfies the equation W transpose X equal to 0. Okay. So if every point in this line will be satisfying this condition. So naturally, the weight vector will be exactly perpendicular to this line. That's the condition we are fixing. The weight vector. This is the weight vector. Weight vector will be perpendicular to this line. Okay. So if any point is there here, for example, this is a weight vector. What is the angle of this point with respect to this weight vector? It will be sharing some angle less than 90 degrees. Okay, so that's why these values are all positive. Anything to the right of this, just above this line, they are going to enjoy the positive values, and anything below this, they are going to enjoy the negative value. Anything below this classifying value. So I have one more point here. Then that angle is also less than 90 degrees. So naturally, all these are positives. Greater value will be greater. Okay. So naturally, we are interested in For example, if I'm going to rotate this line, what happens? Just like in the case of, I've shown you, see here, so when the weights are changing, what's happening? This line is rotating. Okay, so these weights are going to play a role, okay, in fixing the slope of it. So that's why, so when I'm going to rotate this line, for example, instead of like this, if I'm going to have a line something like this, where will be the weight vector will be? Can you just imagine that? The weight vector will be somewhere here, perpendicular to this. Okay, if my thing is like this, line is like this, then the weight vector will be like this. Okay, so the weight vector always is the weight vector. Weight vector always points to the, what do you call it? It's more like a perpendicular to the classifying line that we are drawing. Okay, that line equation is Wx is equal to 0. Okay, so naturally these weights should be perpendicular to the points of the line. Okay, therefore it is perpendicular to the line. The weights are perpendicular to the line. That's the idea. So naturally, if you look at the case, so that's what the professor is saying. Okay, what can you tell about the angle alpha between W and any point X which lies on the angle is 90 degree on the line. So, but for points just near to the line on that side, okay, the angle will be somewhat higher. Higher angle means, larger angle means, that is smaller angle means what? It is less than 90 degree. Okay, so that's why that's the idea. Less than 90 degree is the key. What will be the angle between any such vectors? So consider some points which lie in the positive half space of this line. So these points, 1, 2, 3. Choose a different color. These points, 1, 2, 3. So the weight vector is here. Weight vector is perpendicular to what? The discriminating line. The discriminating line is the classifier line. So this weight vector is perpendicular. So naturally, if they look at the corresponding angles, all these angles are somewhat lower. But this one is little bigger, but we'll see. Okay, it's not classified. It's classified, but it's little bigger, but less than 90 degree. So if you look at this is less than 90. So what will be the angle between any such vector and W? What about points which lie on the negative? If you look at this point, you see there is a huge angle, greater than 90 degree. So cos, if you look at the cos factor, so this is cos theta. Okay, so if you take x coordinate, so naturally from 0 to 90 degree, so we will be enjoying 1 to 0. Gradually it goes like this. But in the negative side, you are going to have negative values. Okay, value will be negative. So naturally, we would like to keep the angle between 0 to 90 degree, not to enjoy positive. Okay, that's why this is positive side and this is negative side. Okay, so this is greater than 90 degree. Greater than 90 degree I am getting here. Okay, that's why all these points are classified as negatives. This is positive, this is negative. What will be the angle between any such vector and what about vectors which lie in the negative half space of this line? W transpose X is less than 0 there. That's why what will be the angle? It is definitely greater than 90 degree. All these points they are greater than 90. See here, this point is greater than 90 degree. And here is a weight vector. This point is also greater than 90. Only these vectors they enjoy less than 90 degree. These three vectors, P3, P2, P1. Okay, so this is a fundamental idea of this algorithm. So naturally, you can clearly see this can be proved comfortably. For X, for example, let us take for X belonging to the first label, label 1. Okay, when Ws is less than 0. But we want for the first case, W dot X greater than 0. But initially, let us, for example, for assuming some random weights, for that random weights, I am getting W dot X equal to Z. Then it means that the angle between X and the current W is greater than 90 degree. Okay, it is misclassifying, that is why. But we want alpha, the angle should be less than 90 degree. So how do you minimize that value? We know that this cos alpha mu is proportional to the new weight. What is the new weight? We are adding, okay, W plus Wx. So W transpose X plus X transpose X. What is W transpose X? It is cos alpha. This is X transpose X. So naturally, the new cos angle, okay, this angle should be less than 90 degree in order to satisfy this condition. Then only you get a more value for cos alpha. Cos alpha, this alpha, if it is less than 90 degree within this range, okay, I will be getting some positive cos value. Okay, between 0 to 1. So naturally, if this is greater than this, I should choose this alpha such a fashion that you can see very clearly that it is, this condition is clearly saying cos alpha is definitely will be greater than cos alpha for this condition. W mu is equal to W plus X. So that's why this W plus X is really working out for us. Okay, so for the first case, for the everybody understood this? Anybody can explain this again? Anybody? Just put in words. Somebody. Ananta Karthik.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, can you put in words this idea? What I said?
No, sir. I wasn't there yesterday, sir, so
Okay,
I couldn't follow properly.
Okay, no problem. Anybody else? Krishna, are you following? Shavya.
கடைசியில மட்டும் கொஞ்சம் டவுட் சார்.
சரி, சொல்லேன் அது என்னன்னு. That's why see this idea is important. Only when you express I can. Tell me, yeah.
So this is the program thing, sir. Adari purinchu the algorithm.
So this is algorithm. W plus X, W minus X.
So till that I got it, sir. After that I got it.
Okay. So again, I will repeat again. Okay, so that you can understand it very clearly. So the basic idea, if you look at this case, I will show you one more expression. Yeah, here is the case. If you look at this case, we have three patterns: P1, P2, P3. Okay, and this N1, N2, N3 or the three patterns we don't want. Okay, that is we want it to be 0. For these three cases, I want it to be 1. Okay, so naturally, I am trying to draw a line. For example, if I am going to draw a line like this, we learned that any point. Okay, how do we get this line? W transpose X is equal to 0. That's the expression. Remember the dot product case, W1 x1 plus W2 x2 plus W3 x3. When I'm going to group it together like this, and what I'm doing is I'm trying to find out the dot product. So dot product, for all dot product, cos angle is important. Okay, cos angle. So naturally, when I'm saying W transpose X equal to 0, my weight vector, okay, should be perpendicular to this X. So all the X lying on the line, okay, my weight vector should be perpendicular. Therefore, the weight vector is pointing like this in this case. Weight vector is okay, it's rotated. Okay, it's rotated. So the weight vector is perpendicular to this line. So naturally, these points they are going to enjoy the positive end. Why? Why positive? Because with respect to the weight vector, if you take every vector, other vectors, and study the angle, they will be less than 90 degree. But if you take these points, P1, P2, P3, they are going to have a more angle. Okay, and you see the angle with respect to the weight vector. They are greater than 90 degree. So naturally, these points are going to have negative values. Because if you look at the cos angle, between 0 to 90 are going to have positive, and between 90 to greater than 90 are going to have negative values. Okay, so naturally these lines, these values are going to have negative, and this is going to have positive. But whether we want like that, no, we want something reverse. So naturally, what we need to do, we have to rotate this line in such a fashion that this vector will come to this side. Okay, so that's what we are doing here. See here at every point we are trying to rotate. Now see here, I'm slightly rotated by using this idea. What is this idea? We initialize V to the random value. We observe that currently W dot X is less than 0. But what we want W dot X to be greater than 0 for the positive points, P1, P2, P3. These are all negative points, N1, N2, N3. So naturally, we now run an algorithm of adding some more factor. W is equal to original W plus X. When I do that, it's now getting shifted. Okay, initially it was like this. Now it's becoming like this. So now see here the new weights are like this. Initial weights are like this, new weights are. Now what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to rotate this here. The weight vector should come over here, like this. Then only I can solve the problem. So that's what I'm trying to do. See here, next case again, I have rotated my line. So now the new weight vector, it will be like this. Okay, the new classification line like this. It should be perpendicular like this. The weight vector is now perpendicular to the line. Now still I have some classifying error. Okay, then what I do, I still add more weight, W plus X. Then what happens? At some point, the new weight vector is here. Here it is. Okay, it is like this line now. Okay, then what happens? At some point, I'm getting the new weight vector here. I'm rotating. So now the classification error is like this. Classification line is like this. Now I got all the positive points on the positive side of the line. These are all the 3 points on the negative side. Okay, so that's how the perceptron learning algorithm works. Okay, so now can you repeat, Ananta Karthik?
Sir?
Yeah, now can you understand what I said?
Sir,
Still difficult?
what I understood was we randomly pick a point and we do something with the point is x, I guess.
No, we
so
draw lines. Okay, classification lines is what. See here we have points like this. We try to understand it clearly. So
yes,
let us imagine I have my points. Positive points, let us take it as 3. Okay, I have these 3 points. These are all the 3 vectors I'm talking about.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so I got my negative points the other side. We'll take negative points. Okay?
Okay, sir.
So these are all the
negative vectors.
Okay, so now I would like to group this one from this one. I have to separate out, okay, with the help of a classifying line like this. Okay, that's what I'm trying. So this line, how do you draw this line? W transpose X. Okay, so when you draw this line, the line equation is W transpose X is equal to 0. That's the expression.
Okay, sir.
Which includes all the values. For example, for our line case, only one line, okay, W1X plus W0 is equal to 0. Okay, so for if it passes through the origin, I'm going to get W0 equal to 0. So only this. Okay, the key point what I am trying to convey to you is this W transpose X is equal to 0 means every point on the line X, any X on the line will be perpendicular to the weight. Okay, the weight will be perpendicular to all the points on the X. It means that the weight is perpendicular to the line what you have drawn. Okay, based on some random weights and W0, W1, you have drawn a line now. So it should be perpendicular to that. Weight should be always perpendicular to that. So if you draw the weight should be perpendicular to the line, then what happens? Try to understand this clearly.
Then we get.
For example, if I'm drawing a line like this, my positive point is here, my negative point is here. Okay, if I draw this line, the weight vector will be pointing in this direction. You agree?
Yes, sir.
Then what is the angle of this weight vector? Is going to enjoy with the positive point. The angle will be less than 90 degrees.
Okay.
Okay, in the cos theta, dot product I said. Dot product means you need to think of cos angle. So cos angle will be between 0 to 90 degrees. Always you get a positive angle. Okay, positive angle for a cos. So naturally I can get positive values in this side. But what about this point? This is in the other side of the classifying line.
Yes, sir.
So if you look at this weight vector and this corresponding angle with this point, this will be definitely greater than 90 degrees.
Okay, sir.
That is why these values are all negative and these values are positive. Okay, are you getting the point?
Yes, sir. So sir, one more thing. This weight vector, will it be given or should we assume?
No, weight vector we have to find out.
That how should we find, sir?
Yeah, by applying the rule W equal to W plus X. Okay. When you are adding more weight, see the new weight will be equal to old weight plus some input you are adding now. When you are adding it, definitely weights are going to change. Okay, that's the learning rule. Okay, so when you are going to look at this case, okay.
Okay, sir. In this W is equal to W plus X, the X is the positive or the negative point.
That is for the misclassification. Misclassification point.
Okay.
Misclassification in the sense initially you want 1, but what you got 0. You want 1, but you got 0. So it is misclassified. So naturally you are adding. So because of that the weights are going to change like this.
Okay. Initially we'll assume the weights, then according to the point we'll change it.
Change, yeah. That's what learning is all about.
Yes. Okay, sir. Sir, one more thing, sir. Rupa has asked a question. Rupa has asked a question in the chat box.
Sir, Rupa asked the question, sir. I also had the same too.
Yeah. Rupa. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, 270 to 360 is also right. That's good question. The angle should be less than 90 degree. Okay, so naturally the other side also it's all right. Okay, so the acute angles is what I'm looking for. Negative angle, it's a negative angle. So it is all right. 2 parts cleared, doubt. Yeah. Acute angles you look for. Less than 90 degree is what I'm looking for. It can be positive or negative. Negative angle or positive. Okay. So now look at this case. So now you understand this clearly. W transpose X equal to 0.
Sir, one more clarification, sir. So first we should form the weight vector. Then with that we will form the discriminant vector.
Yeah, that's right. Because only weights W1 X1 plus W2 X2. When you write like this, only the line and plane equations are being formed. Okay. So for initial random weights, you are right. You are formulating the line for initial random weights. Okay, and then trying to check the weights are in fact the weight should be perpendicular to the line always. But that's the condition. W transpose X is equal to 0. The weight should be perpendicular to the line what you have formulated. Okay. And naturally, when you are going to change the weights, the line is going to rotate. Okay, the line is going to rotate. It's what you are seeing here. So when I'm going to change the weights, see the line slope is changing. You see the slope how it is changing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You have to understand clearly that the weights should be perpendicular to this line always.
Okay, sir.
Okay, that's the idea. W transpose X. Okay.
Okay.
So then you need to fix the weight by adding weights. So if you look at the next case, in this case, if you look at initially you have drawn the initially for these 3 positive points, you should have positive values. There should be negative values. But what is the initial condition here? Initial weights what you have assumed. Can you see the weights? This is the weight. Then where will be the line? Will be the line will
perpendicular
be
to that.
Yeah, this is perpendicular to the weight. So naturally, this is the positive side. Okay, but what you have got, this is positive side is what you have got here. But for this data you want negative, but misclassified. In order to get a positive negative value here, the weight should point in this direction. Then only you get an angle more than 90 degree and you get negative value. You understand it clearly now, what I'm saying. Can you understand it?
Yes, sir.
So these are all the positive points. These are all the positive points. And these are all the negative points. Okay. Now I have drawn the line like this. So the weight vector is pointing in this direction. So what are all the angles of this weight vector with these points? These 3 points, the weight vector is going to enjoy less than 90 degree angles. Okay. Slightly, this one is little more, but I think it comes under within 90 degree. So, but for these points, they will be greater than 90. So naturally, I don't want that. I want to reverse the condition. So naturally, this weight has to come and point in this direction. So for that, I have to rotate the line. Okay, that's why I'm adding weights. See here, read this. We initialized weight to a random value. We observe that currently W dot X is less than 0. Okay, therefore angle is greater than 90 degree for all positive points. For all positive points, can you see it? For all positive points, the angle is greater than 90 degree. For all positive points. Okay, but we don't want that. Okay, so for all negative point situation is exactly opposite. So we now run the algorithm by randomly going over the points and adding this W plus WX is less than W dot X is less than 0. So naturally, the weights will be moved like this. Okay, weights are changing, moving. W plus X. Because of that, weights are moving. Then it will change here, it will move here. So weights are gradually moving here. See, can you see it? It's here, this point. From this point, this is the initial weight. Now we added up some X, therefore it is moving here. And then again you added up X and again moving here. And again you add up X and you reach the point. Okay. You see it? The weights are going to, finally the weights are here.
So now, the X we are adding is the positive point, sir?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Exactly. They are the misclassified one now.
Ah, yes, sir.
Okay. No, you need not worry like that. You think in terms of the error. Okay. Think of the error. The error is if you want 0, but if you want 0 and the neural network is showing 1, then this is going to be W minus X. Okay, but here in this case, You want 1, but it is showing 0. So the error is going to be positive, W plus X. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
It's Boolean case. W minus X, W plus X. That's the idea. So then if you keep doing it, then the rates will be, keep on moving.
Okay.
Like this. So that's the idea. So, if you are not clear, again go back to Mitish Kapra's video lecture also. He has given that video. Okay, he has published the videos, Swank tools it is. You can see that video also. Because I'm using the slides for a presentation. So if you are unable to get the idea clear, you can go back again to Mitish Kapra. He's a very excellent teacher also. Okay, you will get the idea clear. Okay.
So can you repeat the name, sir?
Mitish.
What?
I'll write it here. I'll write it here.
Okay.
Mitish Kapra. IIT. This is a SWAYAM course, Introduction to Deep Learning. He's doing a great job. Okay, you have to see his lectures. You get easily, you can understand this idea again. Okay, so right now I think you've got some idea. If you still want to strengthen it, you go back again and see his lectures. Okay, so that's what this idea. Now look at this case. Here comes the problem. So this problem, in fact, he says XOR problem. Sorry, XOR problem. Now look at this case. What is this? In fact, you're seeing it's an XOR gate problem. So 0, 0 you're going to get 0, 1, 0 you're going to get 1, 0, 1 you're going to get 1, 1, 1 you're going to get 0. So if that is the case, so these are all the inequality conditions that you need to satisfy. Okay, but look at this case. So for the first case, W0 is less than 0, all right. For the second case, W2 should be greater than or equal to minus W0. For the third case, it is W1 is greater than or equal to minus omega naught. W0, sorry, W0. But when you add these two, you should get less than minus W0 means this completely violates these two conditions. So naturally, one single line cannot classify this problem. See, look at this. If I draw a line like this, there is one classifying error. If I draw, you try to draw any line, that will not classify these two sets of data. Because you want 1 for 0, 1, 1, 0. 0, 0, 1, 1 should be given 0 value. So naturally, you cannot draw one linear separator, one line to separate out this kind of a problem. So that's where, in fact, the perceptron, single layered perceptron fails here. Single layered perceptron you cannot employ for this kind of problem. Primarily because the data is like this. You cannot draw a line to separate out these two, the class X from class G. You cannot do that. So you cannot draw any line. Okay. For example, if I draw this line, again there's an error. If I draw this, there's an error. You can try to draw anywhere. You cannot separate out these two patterns. So that's where the problem is. So most real world data is also not linearly separable. So you get data point like this. So you cannot draw a line like this. It's still there is a misclassification. So we need to think something with the multi-layered perceptrons. Okay. So that's where the idea of multi-layered perceptron. That's where the idea of feed-forward neural networks comes. Okay, so we'll be learning about this under the title Back Propagation Learning Algorithm, neural network-based learning algorithm. But right now, just think about this. Sometimes you may have data like this. Okay, because it's non-linearly separability problem. It's not linearly separable. Okay, you should think of drawing something. Okay, so there is a method called SVM method. But you'll not be learning it, but this kind of support vector machines or kernel-based systems can employ this to classify this kind of data. Okay, but think about this. Keep thinking. So these are all the possible Boolean functions can be designed for two inputs. Okay, so the output can be 0, 0, 0, output can be 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0. So all these possibilities are there. Particularly XOR related problems cannot be solved using this kind of linear separators. XOR problems. Okay, as we have seen. So can somebody explain this XOR problem again? What is this exactly entails? What is this problem? XOR problem. Sorry, XOR problem. XOR gate problem. Yeah.
So in XOR condition, we can't just segregate with one linear
that's good question.
burst of ground problems.
That's good question. That's good question. One line you cannot separate this data. Okay, you cannot linearly you cannot classify with XOR gate. Linear separability is a problem. Okay, it's not linearly separable. Data points cannot be linearly separable. That is the idea. So we would like to solve this problem in a different way. With one single layered perceptron, we can solve this problem. Look at this. Again, we take up this problem. Okay. Look at this neural network carefully. So I have one layer here called the hidden layer. And this is the output layer. So this is the output layer. So there are two inputs. Okay, x1, x2, and then I am keeping my weights in such a fashion that for a bias of -2, okay, at a time only one neuron will fire for each and every input. How many possible inputs are there? X1, x2, either 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1. Okay, there are totally four possible inputs. I am going to make it in such a fashion that by appropriately fixing the weights, okay, red edge indicates -1 and blue edge indicates +1. See here, for the first input, okay, for the first neuron, my inputs will be 0, 0, okay, and the corresponding weights are -1, -1. Okay, therefore, if I am going to choose like that, true is +1 and false is -1. For this case, we are going to assume. Therefore, 0, 0 is going to be -1, -1. So if I am going to take the input as -1, -1 and weight also as -1, -1, what do I be getting? I will be getting some positive value here. So naturally, when the bias is -2, okay, in that case, weighted sum should be greater than or equal to 2. You understand what I am saying? W0, okay, plus Wi xi should be greater than or equal to 0 is a condition. When I am going to choose this as -2, then it will be Wi xi should be greater than or equal to 2. So for the first case, immediately you will see that when I'm going to give 0, 0 as input, it will be converted to -1, -1, and the weights are also -1, -1. So naturally, if you multiply these two, I'm going to get +1, +1, it's going to be 2. Okay, Wi xi, it will be 2. 2 is equal to 2. Therefore, this is going to fire. This neuron will fire. Can you understand it clearly what I'm saying? For the first neuron I'm talking about. Okay, there are two inputs, x1, x2. Both are 0, but I'm going to take it as the true negative value as a negative value I'm going to take. Therefore, the truth table is more like this. x1, x2, -1, -1. Okay, and I'm trying to solve the XOR gate problem. Okay, so now this is what the bias is -2. Okay, this is another one way. Okay, it's -2. This is W0. This x1 is equal to x0 is equal to 1. So in that case, what is the condition then? W0 plus W1 x1 plus W2 x2 should be greater than or equal to 0. In order this neuron to fire, this condition has to be satisfied. So naturally, W0 is -2. The weight, that is bias. This W1 is -1. Input is -1 plus -1 -1. Okay. Therefore, it is going to be 2. 1 plus 1. It is 2 greater than or equal to 2. Are you getting the point? This 2 is going to be here. Therefore, 2 greater than 2. This condition is satisfied. I am going to get this neuron fire. So when I am designing my neuron, okay, I am fixing it like this. Sorry. Yeah. Now can I understand? This particular neuron will fire only for both the inputs 0, 0. But the second neuron will fire. Can you tell when the second neuron will fire by looking at the weights? Anybody from the class?
0, 1, sir.
That's all. Very good. It's direct. Okay. So this is negative. This is positive. Therefore, 1 into 1, I'm going to get 1. But here it is 0. Therefore, minus 1. Minus 1 into minus 1, again I'm going to get 1. Therefore, the bias value is minus 2. It will fire greater than or equal to 2. Therefore, it's going to fire for 0, 1. This one will fire for 1, 0. This will fire for 1, 1. You understand? So these are all the 4 neurons we have chosen. So if you understand this, then it will be quite easy for you. This network contains 3 layers, okay? The input layer, then the hidden layer, output layer. Output of the force perceptrons, the hidden layer are denoted by H1, H2, H3, H2. Now you can see here, there is another set of weight here, W1, W2, W3, W4. This is a new set of weights. These weights are fixed. These weights you are going to learn. Okay, or they're called the layer 2 weights. Now, we claim that this network can be used to implement any Boolean functions, linearly separable or not. That's very powerful idea. Can you understand the impact of the statement? With one single layered network, okay, you can solve any Boolean function, whether it is linearly separable or not. So with W1, W2, W3, W4, these are all the weights that we are going to learn. Okay, at the present weight. An astonishing claim is what the professor is saying. Well, it's not, we have to understand what's going on. Okay. So can you see it? Second perceptron will fire only for -1. First perceptron will fire for -1, -1. Likewise, we are going to see all these cases. So this will fire for -1, -1. This will fire for -1, 1. This will fire for 1, -1. This will fire for 1. So if this is the case, look at the perceptron program. So only see here, these are all going to be 0. H2, H3, H4 will be 0 when the input is 0, 0. Do you see it clearly? Only H1 will be high. So then you can fix your W1 in such a fashion that you can make this output to be high, low, sorry. Because each neuron is being separated for only one input, so there won't be any inequality clash. The previous case, can you recall what happened? We had an inequality clash. I hope you can recall that. So we had an inequality clash. This is what Krishna said. We cannot satisfy this condition. That's where the problem comes, single layer perceptron. But what happened here? By going for a multiple layer network, we are in a position to resolve this problem. Only one parameter. So by choosing this parameter, W1 less than W0, okay, greater than this weight, okay, W0, then you can solve it problem. So W2 should be greater than or equal to W0 in order to work out for this. W3 should be greater than or equal to W0, and W4 should be greater than less than W0. What is W0? Here it is. Threshold is here. Okay, the output here. This is this neuron's bias. So by choosing W1, W2, W3, W4 in a proper way, okay, W4 should be less than 0. Why? This case is 0. Okay, can you see it? So by having only one bias with output mode, and by choosing the W1, W2, W3, W4 in a proper way, we are in a position to resolve the XOR gate. Okay. So what about more conditions? I could have more this kind of linear separability problem. Non-linear, you can have more number of neurons like this. Okay. So we can have n number like this. So by going for more number of hidden neurons, we can solve any kind of Boolean problem, non-linearly separable Boolean problem. It is not linear, it need not be linearly separable. Okay, by working out this. Can you understand this idea?
Sure.
Anybody?
Sir, one clarification, sir.
Yeah,
so
please.
before you are using one perceptron neuron, and now you are using each one for one each condition, sir.
Exactly.
Okay.
Each condition. So more than that, we have 2 layers. Okay, this is layer 1. One layer will not be sufficient. Is it not? With one layer, we will get only one output. We have but so many 4 patterns of input. So only one pattern will be satisfying. Okay, with one node. So we need to have a second layer, which will take care of all these 4 conditions. You understand?
Okay, sir.
By fixing the bias of that in such a fashion, this is a bias of W0. This is only one node, bias is W0. So what we are going to do? we are going to fix W1 less than W0 for the first case and solve the problem. First case, first pattern is solved. And then we are going to fix W2, this one, this way, should be greater than or equal to this W0, and that way we can solve the second pattern. This is what learning. This W0 is fixed, keep that in mind.
Yes, sir.
This W0 is fixed. Only W1, W2, W3, W4 we are going to adjust in such a fashion that we can solve this XOR pattern. So we require two layers, layer 1, layer. This is called multi-layered perceptron. A single layer will not be sufficient to solve outside. XOR gate. XOR gate cannot be solved by single layer perceptron. We require more number of layers. Only one is enough. Single layer. Single layer perceptron is enough. See here, we can increase the number of nodes. Thereby you can solve any type of Boolean problem. Non-linear separable problem. XOR kind of problem. Okay. So that's a powerful idea. With that, maybe we have any doubts? Anybody? Fine.
Yes, sir.
Rupa Maitreyi, doubt cleared?
Sir, one small clarification again, sir. So the function of the second layer of bias, sir, that isn't clear, sir.
Yeah, that is clear. See here, you want this network. See, when you have only one node. Okay, only one node. When you fix a bias, remember our bias condition.
Yes, sir.
Okay, if the input values are greater than this bias, output will fire. Okay, Wi, Xi. If it is greater than or equal to bias, okay, then output will fire. You understand? So naturally, these are all the inputs H1, H2, or the output from the previous layers. Then what do I write here? Wi, Hi. If this Wi, Hi, if it is greater than or equal to this bias, the output will fire. But for one input, for a particular input, for example, 0, 0, I will be firing only this node only. I will not be using this at all. This is 0, this is 0, this is 0. All these three are 0. So naturally, when I am going to get my output Y1 to be equal to 1, I will be worried only about this weight. I will not be worried about these three because this H2, H3, H3 are 0. Therefore, when you multiply with these weights, it is going to be 0. Okay, only this weight is related. And for the second input, only this weight is related. Third weight is. So I am going to fix my W0 for the first case. How I am going to fix? See here, for W0, I am going to fix for the first case 0, 0. I will be fixing only W1 less than W0. Do you understand? Then that way I can satisfy this condition. 0 condition I will be getting this output. Are you getting the point? If H1 is 1. H1 is 1 primarily because first node is fired.
Okay, sir.
All other are 0. H2, H2, A3 are 0. Only W1 I am interested in. Okay. Second condition W2. W2, but I want 1. Therefore, W2 has to be greater than or equal to W0. Then only I can get 1. This condition is satisfied. For W3, again it's 1. W3 should be greater than or equal to W0. But W4 is again less than W0 because it is 0. Can you see it clearly?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's the idea of multi-layered perceptron. Okay. Please go through that video lecture as well as some standard books. Okay, you can refer to. Getting more insights. Yeah, I'll stop it.